All right, so today let's do a deep dive into something pretty cool.
Okay.
The future of work,
Yeah.
how we collaborate. You sent over some fascinating stuff about Huly,
Right.
this platform that wants to completely change how we work together,
Yeah.
not just our own teams, but globally. And they've got some seriously ambitious plans from their current cloud and self-hosting options
Right.
to a future with this idea
Yeah.
of a global collaboration network built on blockchain.
Yeah.
Buckle up. This is going to be a wild ride.
It is really impressive how Huly is looking beyond the current debates about cloud versus self-hosting.
Right.
They're really trying to create a whole new way of thinking about collaboration.
Yeah, and it starts with addressing this question. A lot of companies are wrestling with cloud or self-hosting.
Yeah.
Huly actually offers both.
Right.
But they have some interesting data that challenges the cost argument a lot of people make against the cloud.
Exactly. They have 30,000 workspaces running in their cloud.
Wow.
And only a tiny fraction, like we're talking less than 1% ever, go over the free tier limits.
Really?
That means most teams could be using all of Huly's features for just $19.99 a month.
That's amazing.
Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
That's probably less than your daily coffee.
It's crazy how affordable that is.
Yeah.
Especially when you consider the alternative,
Right.
self-hosting.
Yeah.
You've got setup costs, server maintenance, backups, security updates.
Oh, yeah.
It all adds up.
It really does, in fact. The initial setup alone for self-hosting can cost as much as 5 to 10 years of a cloud subscription.
No kidding.
And that doesn't even factor in the ongoing costs and headache.
I'm starting to see why they push the cloud so much.
Yeah.
It's like trying to maintain your own car versus just using a ride-sharing service.
Right.
Sure, owning a car gives you more control.
Sure.
But is it really worth the hassle and expense for most people?
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And it gets even more complicated when you think about future needs.
Yeah.
What happens when you want to integrate cutting-edge AI features that require powerful GPUs?
Oh, yeah.
With self-hosting, you're on the hook for all that expensive hardware.
Right.
With Huly's cloud, they handle it all for you.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But Huly isn't just stopping with a better cloud solution.
Right.
They're thinking much bigger with this concept they call Global Huly.
Yeah.
And this is where things get really interesting. It's like they're saying the way we collaborate now is fundamentally broken.
And they have a point.
Yeah.
Most of us work with people outside our organization all the time.
Right.
Clients, vendors, freelancers.
Yeah.
But right now, we're stuck with these isolated workspaces that create all sorts of barriers.
It's like trying to have a conversation through a tiny crack in the wall.
Yeah.
You can hear each other,
Right.
but it's frustrating and inefficient.
Absolutely.
Global Huly wants to tear down that wall completely.
That's the idea.
Yeah. Imagine your Huly ID being as permanent as your email address.
Exactly.
You could instantly collaborate with anyone anywhere, regardless of what organization they're with.
That's right.
No more setting up guest accounts,
Yeah.
managing permissions, or juggling different platforms.
The whole new way of thinking about it.
So you're telling me I could seamlessly work on a project with someone on the other side of the world
Yeah.
as if we were in the same office?
Exactly.
That's a game changer.
It really is.
And it goes way beyond just chat.
Yeah.
Like some of the shared channels we see today.
Right.
Global wants to make everything seamless.
It does.
Documents, tasks, deadlines, workflows, as if everyone were part of one massive interconnected team.
That's the vision.
Wow. That's mind-blowing.
It's pretty amazing.
But hold on, before we get too carried away.
Yeah.
Wouldn't this raise some serious security concerns?
Of course.
I mean, we're talking about sharing sensitive information with people outside your organization.
Right.
That's got to be a nightmare from a security standpoint.
You're absolutely right. That's a valid concern.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why Huly is incorporating something called blockchain into their plans.
Okay.
It might sound intimidating,
It does.
but it's actually a really elegant solution to this problem.
Okay, I have to admit, I'm a little fuzzy on how blockchain works.
Sure.
Can you break it down for me?
Imagine a digital ledger that everyone can see and verify,
Okay.
but no single person or entity controls it.
Right.
It's like a giant shared spreadsheet that's constantly being updated and validated by thousands of computers around the world.
I see.
This makes it incredibly secure and virtually impossible to tamper with.
Okay. I'm starting to get it.
Good.
But how does this apply to Global Huly and keeping my data safe?
Huly's plan is to eventually build Global Huly on a blockchain.
Okay.
So all your data and collaborations would be secured by this incredibly robust system.
So even if I'm working with someone I don't know from a different company, my information is protected by this unbreakable blockchain technology.
That's the idea.
That's pretty reassuring.
It is.
But how does that address the whole cloud versus self-hosting debate?
This is where it gets really interesting. You see with blockchain, the distinction between cloud and self-hosting kind of melts away. Because with blockchain, the idea of a central server controlled by one company becomes irrelevant.
Oh, okay.
The platform is essentially owned and operated by the community,
I see.
with everyone contributing to its security and functionality.
So it's kind of like everyone becomes their own little mini host, working together to create this giant secure network.
Exactly.
Wow.
And that's how Huly wants to address those security concerns you mentioned earlier with a blockchain-powered Global Huly.
Yeah.
It wouldn't matter if you were working in the cloud or had chosen to self-host.
Okay.
Your data would be protected by this massive decentralized network, not by any one company's servers.
Okay, that's starting to click for me now.
Good.
But isn't blockchain still a pretty new technology?
Is Huly really able to build something this ambitious?
They're definitely pushing the boundaries, but they have a clear roadmap for how they're going to get there.
Okay.
The first step is Global Huly, which launches in a few months.
Right.
It'll have initial blockchain components laying the groundwork for end-to-end encryption for all workspaces.
So even in those early stages, my data would be protected by this advanced encryption, even when collaborating with folks outside my organization.
That's the goal.
That's pretty impressive.
It is, and they're not stopping. Their long-term goal is to transition to a fully permissionless blockchain.
Okay.
Meaning no one, not even Huly's creators, would have control over the platform. It would be completely owned and operated by the community.
So it's not just about security. It's about this whole philosophical shift towards decentralization and community ownership.
Yeah.
It's like they're building a movement, not just a company.
There's definitely a sense of that.
And it makes you wonder how this kind of thinking could transform other areas of our digital lives.
Right.
We're already seeing blockchain being explored in finance, healthcare, even art and music.
It's mind-blowing to think about the possibilities.
It is.
But for now, let's bring it back to the future of work.
Sure.
If Huly can pull this off, it could really change how we think about collaboration.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where work transcends organizational boundaries, where we can connect and collaborate with anyone, anywhere.
Right.
Seamlessly and securely.
And imagine the potential for innovation when you can tap into the collective knowledge and talent of a global community.
Right.
It's not just about making work easier.
Yeah.
It's about unlocking entirely new ways of working together.
I'm starting to get really excited about this.
I can tell.
But I'm also curious, how do you think this kind of shift will impact individuals?
Okay.
What does it mean for someone like me or for our listeners who are trying to navigate this rapidly changing world of work?
That's a great question. On a practical level, it means having access to tools and resources that were previously only available to large corporations.
Right.
Imagine a small startup being able to collaborate with world-class experts from anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
All within a secure and efficient platform.
That would be a game changer for so many small businesses and entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
But it also sounds like it requires a shift in mindset.
It does.
We're so used to working within the confines of our own organization.
Absolutely. This is about embracing a more open and collaborative way of working. It's about recognizing that great ideas can come from anywhere.
Right.
And that by working together, we can achieve far more than we ever could alone.
So it's not just about the technology, it's about changing the way we think about work itself.
Yeah.
It's about breaking down those old barriers and embracing a more connected and collaborative future.
Exactly. And Huly is providing a glimpse into what that future could look like.
Yeah.
It's a bold vision, and it'll be fascinating to see how it unfolds.
Oh, well, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty inspired right now.
Me too.
But before we wrap things up, I want to bring it back to our listener.
Okay.
What's the one key takeaway you want them to walk away with from this deep dive?
I think the biggest takeaway is that the future of collaboration is about more than just fancy tools and features.
Right.
It's about fundamentally changing how we connect, share ideas, Huly, and work together to solve problems.
Yeah.
It's just one example of this shift towards a more decentralized and community-driven approach.
I see.
But whether it's or some other platform,
Right.
this movement towards more open and collaborative ways of working is only going to accelerate in the coming years.
I totally agree. This has been a really eye-opening deep dive.
Yeah.
We started by looking at the practicalities of cloud versus self-hosting,
Mm.
but we ended up exploring this much bigger idea of a future where collaboration knows no bounds.
Yeah. It's pretty exciting stuff.
It's exciting and a little bit daunting at the same time.
It is. And I think that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
We're standing on the edge of something truly transformative.
Right.
And it's up to us to decide how we want to shape this new world of work.
Well said. So for our listener out there,
Yeah.
here's a little something to think about as we move towards this more decentralized and collaborative future. What role do you want to play?
Well, that's a good question.
What unique skills and perspectives can you bring to the table?
Right.
And how can you use these emerging technologies to connect with others?
Yeah.
Build meaningful relationships and make a real impact.
Those are great questions to ponder because this isn't just about technology. It's about people.
Right.
It's about recognizing the power of human connection and collaboration.
Yeah.
And it's about realizing that together we can achieve incredible things.
I love that. On that note, I think it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive.
Okay, that's good.
We've covered a lot of ground today, from the nitty-gritty of cloud costs to the mind-blowing potential of blockchain-powered collaboration.
We really have.
But as always, this conversation is just the beginning.
Right.
Keep exploring, keep learning,
Yeah,
and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
absolutely. And remember, the future of work is not something that's happening to us.
Right.
It's something we're all creating together.
And on that inspiring note, I want to thank you, our amazing expert, for sharing your insights with us today.
It's been my pleasure.
And to our listener, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Huly and the future of collaboration.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Until next time, stay curious and keep diving deep.